It was good. So back in September, I had my first PET scan, and I had tumors all throughout my neck and my chest area over here. Those are all disappeared. So my body reacted very well to the chemotherapy. Those are all gone. However, there are two lymph nodes that are still active on both sides, so like here and here, that they want to keep an eye out for. So I have more scans in like 2 months. So I'm not officially cancer free. So I'll find out in 2 months if I'm like officially done.
But that's still like that's a good
Yeah. Yes,
it's
it was
a good
fantastic.
sign.
Yes, it was fantastic. Yeah, news. It was great to hear it.
Yeah, that's good. I'm really glad to hear that.
Thank you. Yes, it was phenomenal to hear that. Great news.
All right, I'm gonna jump right into the questions here. Then,
Cool.
just so talk to me about that initial feeling of so you were cut from your high school baseball team, which, from what I understand, was like your primary sport for a long
Hmm.
time.
Yep.
What drove you to get into swimming?
So baseball had been my thing like 10 years. I was cut my sophomore year. My freshman year, we actually won our conference as the freshman team. So it was a pretty brutal cut. Like I was like, man, what am I gonna do? Swimming has always been like a part of my family. My dad swam Division 1 at Western Illinois. My aunt swam at University of Evansville, and swimming has always been like around my family. So I was like, I had like this summer league that's really close to my house where we swim like maybe 800 to 1,000 meters a day. So it's nothing crazy. And I was like, I'm okay at swimming. And I'm just gonna go. I have friends that do it, and I had this one senior at the time, who really encouraged me to go join club, and I was like, I'm gonna do it, and that was probably one of the biggest blessings in disguise of my life.
And then, like from there, you kind of had this like meteoric rise almost. Like from
Yeah,
like barely breaking 110 to like just about a year later going 57.9, which is like an insane time to do a year
yeah,
into taking a sport seriously. What do you
yeah.
think
It's
contributed to that?
so I actually have no idea. This is one thing I pondered. This is one I stay up at night thinking about this of how. So my freshman sophomore, I did the high school team, but I never went to state. I didn't even go to like the conference meet. Like I was not good. I think the end of my sophomore year, my 100-yard breaststroke was like a 114 to a 110 somewhere in that time. So I mean, it was okay for a high school swimmer, but I mean, nowhere near the level I was. And I mean, I showed up every day. I was there for the 2 days. I was there for the drylands. I was there at the 6 a.m. practices. I showed up every day, not knowing what I had in my future. I'm a very determined, motivated, and resilient individual, and I had no idea that that would even be possible. So yeah, I started swimming, and within a year of me swimming, I had gone at 57. I went 57.86 at the Spring Nationals in Orlando, and I don't know where that came from. I just gotta say, like I showed up every day and I did what everyone else was doing, but I don't know how I got to that point. Um, and then at nationals, I qualified for futures, and that futures was really fun. It was super fun to go to Minneapolis, but I have no idea. Like you could ask me 1,000 times, my answer would be I just showed up and did the practices, and that's what I did.
It's one of those things where like the when the coaches say, "Oh, if you work hard, it'll pay off," it actually ended up paying off
Yep.
in that case.
Yeah. Yeah. I had just trusted my coaches the entire time. I trusted that they had a plan for me, and there's one amazing coach, Gavin Hagar, who's now the head coach at Southern Baptist University. He was amazing. He was the coach that threw me into the a new higher level of workouts and was like, I trust you and I have a plan for you. So he was been amazing. Now Coach Rob, is my now head coach, so he's been awesome with them.
So walk me through those initial feelings of like it was. If I've got the timeline, if I've got the timeline right, it was July-ish of last year, somewhere in the middle of the summer, that you started to feel kind of unwell. Walk me
Mhm.
through that to like the initial diagnosis of Hodgkin lymphoma. Like, what were your emotions like going through that whole situation?
For sure. So I had been sick on and off throughout the summer last year. I swim at our we don't have a long course pool, so we swim at like a community pool in the morning, so it's disgusting. And there's like there's giant hairballs floating on the bottom. There's band-aids. I mean, it's nasty pool. But I'm thankful that we have the pool because I don't know another long course pool that we'd be able to swim at. But I'd been sick all summer. I had pink eye a couple times, so I went to the doctor, and I'm like, I have these lumps in my neck, and they're like, yeah, because you're sick. Don't worry about it. Come back if they grow or if they become hardened or not easy to move around. So then, 3 days before futures, I am coughing up and I am coughing up snot and I don't feel good and I go to the doctor and I get diagnosed with pneumonia. So 3 days before futures, I'm like, I have pneumonia. I have these lumps in my neck. Like, what's going on? And I go to futures. And I still swim my personal best. I think I go 106.02. So that was a bit of a stinger because I was 0.03 off the Winter Juniors cut. But at the time, I didn't know that I had cancer and I had pneumonia. So it was crazy to go swim there with all the things that was going on. And then throughout the next couple months, August, September, they grew but not so much. And I was like, they're still you can still move them around. I wasn't too concerned. I went to the doctor one more time, and they're like, you're fine. And I was like, okay, I'm sure I'm fine. And then September 8th, I get back from my first Division 1 recruitment visit at the University of Nebraska Omaha. I was so excited. I love the pool. I love the coaches. I love the team. And I was like, I have 3 more Division 1 recruitment visits in this month of September, and I'm super excited for what's ahead of me. I get back, and I hadn't looked at my tumors at the time for a while, and noticed that they were huge. I mean, they were bulging out of my neck. You could see them just while resting, and I was like, I'm gonna go to my pediatrician's office just to get these checked out one more time, just see what happens. And I went there on that next Monday, and they were like, I don't like what we see. And I was like, oh, great. They're just going to send me to imaging. So I went to another doctor, and they were like, okay, let's do a CAT scan. So they did a CAT scan, and they're like, we don't like what we see, so we're going to do another one. And I was like, uh-oh, this is not good at all. To the time, like, you never think it would happen to you. You never think it would happen to you. And the next day, I was hospitalized on the oncology floor at the Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City, Kansas. It's a pretty inexplainable feeling. Because you're always relying on you never think it's gonna happen to you. No way, it's me, and then it happens to you, and then you start leaning on your support. I have a great support system. My coaches, my family, my friends, my girlfriend. I mean, they all just rushed, and it was so nice to see everyone that came to support me. And I've received countless support, overwhelming support over the last months. And it's every single day someone new reaches out, someone new asks me how I'm doing. It's been great. But that cancer diagnosis, I told my mom the day I got diagnosed, I was like, I'm going to beat cancer and I'm going to defend my state title. So I have pretty determined. So I have something to prove here in a week.
It's definitely one of those things where I think it's what you make of like a frankly very bad situation. Like
Yeah.
it can either just beat you down and just that be it, or you can choose to like bring some sort of positivity out of a really bad situation.
Yeah, yeah. I really chose positivity. I think I also know that. So I was like, I don't want to be a student that sits in his room all day and knows what he's doing and no one knows how he's doing. Like, I wanted to go to practice. Swim gave me a sense of normalcy. I got to see people I like. I got to do something I love. And just to go there and do that, I'm blessed to be in the physical condition to do what I'm doing. And to continue doing this, I have to give my thanks to all my coaches and people who supported me.
So break down for me what training was like while undergoing chemotherapy, because chemotherapy like is very brutal on the body. What were some
Yes.
of the things that were difficult for you physically in the pool?
You just feel tired. You feel so tired and you feel exhausted. Like, when you go to cool down after a big race and you're like, oh, I can't move. Like, that's what it feels like every single day to swim. And I was middle of my chemotherapy rounds. I participated in my first race since my diagnosis, and I went 103. I qualified for state, and it was a big thing. I was so excited, and I was like, this is just the beginning. Um, but swimming throughout chemotherapy was rough because I had it every 2 weeks. So I'd have chemotherapy on Thursdays. I'd be out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'd be back in the pool on Monday because I was like, I can't stay in my bed for this long. And I swam Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then the next week I felt great. But then that same week I had chemotherapy, so it was just a vicious cycle of going over again. One of my chemotherapy drugs was nicknamed the Red Devil, doxorubicin. Uh, it comes in this. It's bright red, like it's red 40 colored chemotherapy, and it was nasty. But yeah, I wanted to swim through it. I was like, I need to get out of bed. I need to do something. I have goals. Like by time converted from over the summer, I was within point 0.4 of the state record and within 1 second of All American. So I was like, I have goals. I want to be conference championship. I want to be state championship. I want school record, state record, All American. I'm not sure I'm going to get those things, and it sucks being my senior year that I have so limited time left. But I was like, I want to make it up to myself to at least accomplish some of those things. And school record, I mean, it's going to suck because I looked at it like every day for the past 4 years. But I'm really hoping on that state championship to sum up my 4 years here at high school.
You know, I bet if you asked any sort of like psychologist or like mental health expert, like they'd probably tell you like having those goals driving you through something like chemotherapy
Mm-hmm.
probably helped you a lot just mentally to
Yeah.
not feel like this was just beating you down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was, to have those goals set and to think about the future was great. 'Cause I don't know if I would have done it. And I don't know if I would have done what I have done without my people supporting me and people like, yeah, you can do it and you've got this. And it's been, and from such a horrible thing that happened, a cancer diagnosis to a kid who's 17 who has a bright future ahead of him, and you get hit with a cancer diagnosis. I mean, I've had a great journey. I've been in an interview. This is amazing. I've been reached out from Olympians. I had Nathan Adrian follow me. I've swammed in
Oh,
Arnold
Nathan
Swam.
Adrian's fantastic.
I know. I can't. I really want to meet him because he had cancer too, and it's been fantastic. I've got to speak at events, and I'm being asked to speak at more events. I've gotten like people sending me encouraging messages, being like, "You're so inspiring." I was actually Spirit of Sport winner for the state of Kansas. It's one student in the entire state of Kansas that gets the award for fighting through the most adversity while doing something athletic, and I received that award just last week. So I mean, throughout all this, I mean, there's
I mean, like for like Nathan Adrian specifically, like I feel like when he got cancer, he kind of set the standard of like using this bad situation as a means to do good things. Like, because he was so outspoken about like men's health and
yeah,
getting checked for cancer and making sure everything's okay. So
yeah.
like the smile that comes on my face when you said that he reached out to you, because like he was the second interview I ever did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, way back,
That's amazing.
almost 4 years ago now. Second interview I ever did. He is so nice.
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
just an angel of a human being.
I got Rowdy Gaines' phone number too. So we text and I give him updates about stuff. So it's pretty cool to text him too.
All right, Rowdy Gaines too. Like this is a bit of a funny story. So I have been outspoken that I think commentating and swimming could be better, and people mistook that as me hating Rowdy Gaines, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I love the guy.
yeah.
Like
I love. He's amazing. He's so supportive. He's so positive.
I like every interaction I've had with that man has been nothing short of just fantastic and
Mm-hmm.
kind. Like I was at US Golden Goggles in 2023, and he was like walking the red carpet, and he just like stopped and like was blinking at me. He's talked to his wife. He's like, he's huge. Like he was like, hold up your hand next to mine, and I'm like,
That's
it was
amazing.
so funny. Like
Yeah.
just he's like swimming's like kind old grandpa. I feel like is the best
Mhm.
way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that.
So pet skins behind you now, with hopefully another one coming up in a few months. State championships just around the corner.
Yep.
What's like your mindset? What's going through your head as you're preparing, especially because I'm assuming this is right as well. You're coming in currently as the fastest in the state.
Yep. I am still. Yeah. So it's really good.
Or
And
what's going through your head like going into that meet?
yeah. I'm swinging my race. I know I have a title to defend, but I've been going through something no one else in the state is going through. I'm going through a lot of adversity. I'm still putting out the same times as a lot of other people in my state. Um, I have to be conscious and think this is swinging my race. I've been through a lot. Just being up on that podium would be enough. I'm a very competitive person. I love to win, and I over this past weekend, I got third at conference. I had a terrible final swim. I was seated first in prelims, and I just didn't get there for finals. And I kind of like that to give that sense of the I let myself down. I don't really want that to go again. So I'm going to practice. I'm pushing myself. Today's practice was really fun. It was a bunch of 25s race pace, a bunch of hundreds stroke work. So it was really good to go for that. Tomorrow we actually have a snow day. It's supposed to snow like 7 inches here in Kansas.
Oh my god.
So I don't really like that. I'm gonna have to go find a pool to go swim, but I'm gonna make it work. But knowing that I have cancer, one of the worst things someone can get, and to be at this point, I mean, I got a top three. I'd be extremely happy with, but first is what I'm shooting for.
I mean, like, I was reading through like some articles written about you, and like one of the things that you said that I think just highlighted the positive attitude that you're having going into everything that you're doing is you. I don't remember it's the word for word, but you were talking about like how fast could you go if you were going that fast while your body was going through that much.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really excited for sectionals and futures here in the coming months. Because if I'm going like one double O and I'm just like barely post therapy, I'm feeling really positive about the next coming months. So I've been to get my mind off what's happening now.
I think swimming too works as such a fantastic outlet for like adversity
Hmm.
and just being able to channel it into something positive.
For sure, yeah. Because I mean, also the really good thing about swimming is you go and you can do what you're due. You can do if you come to the pool with 25% and you give 26%, you gave 101% that day. I mean, just showing up and doing what you can do is really been a great thing for me.
Yeah, I mean that's such a great way to put it. Actually, like the 20, coming in with 25% and giving it 76%. That's such a fantastic way to phrase that.
Yep. Yep.
So you talked about like your experiences in chemotherapy and treatment, and you like in your words how that inspired you to pursue physical therapy. Like what was the moment through all these treatments that you've had that made you realize that like this was something you wanted to do?
For sure. Thank you for asking this. A lot of people ask about swim stuff, but there's another big thing in my life is that I changed because I wanted to be a civil engineer. I love math. I love to build stuff, but I felt like the way that I was helped and the way people put smiles on my faces and made sure that I was okay going through it all. And I'd been debating physical therapy at the time because of my swim background, but now because of my swim and cancer diagnosis background, I feel like it's a pretty good profession to go into. But I want to help kids the way that I've been helped. I want to help other people recover from their setbacks the way I was helped. And I feel like physical therapy is a great way for my sports background and now my cancer diagnosis background to go help kids be the best version of themselves each day, even while going through something hard. And I felt like I could do that. I really like helping people. One of my biggest things of happiness and putting a smile on my face is doing something for others. And I felt like if I were to go into physical therapy, I would have a much happier, much more fulfilling career rather than going into civil engineering. Well, yes, you help people, but to get that one-on-one interaction every single day with a new kid, I mean, I'm so excited for it.
You know, like your story kind of reminds me of. I'm trying to think of how old you would have been at the time. You would have been like probably 11 or 12 at the time, but there was this athlete at Penn State named Nikki Nolte
Hmm.
who she like first semester of college. I don't remember what she was originally majoring in, but she was diagnosed with cancer herself
Hmm.
with I believe it was leukemia.
Yeah,
And
oh, it sucks.
since then like she's hard pivoted into now she's becoming a physician's assistant.
Hmm.
It's it's one of those things where I feel like these horrible experiences sometimes are given to the people who can utilize them the best, and
I like that.
turn it around in its head and choose to like, instead of just lying down and accepting it, choose to do something good with it.
Yes, that's what I wanted to do from day one.
That's awesome, Jack.
Thank you. I want to help people the way I've been helped.
I think that just speaks to your character and like to you as a person, that like the biggest thing you've come out of from this whole experience. I mean, the whole experience is still going on, but that you've come out of from the experience so far is that like you want to use it as a means to try to help others.
Yes, it's a great way to put it.
So my last question for you, and this one, I suspected you might be a little bit like, this might be a bit more of a question that you might not be ready to answer yet. But what are some college teams you're looking at? And then like, are there any goals that you're looking forward to? Because like you've got state championships next week, but then what's looking ahead for you beyond that?
I'm planning on taking a gap year. I feel like if I take that gap year and get back to the original health, and I'm going to graduate high school at 17, so I won't be 18 yet, and I'll have a full other year of long course and short course 18 years old before I turn 19. And I feel like having another year of training under my really young belt, I feel like be really appealing to college coaches, as well as like improving more times and being a well-rounded swimmer. Because within a year, I mean, yeah, I went 57 on the 100-yard breaststroke, but my backstroke needs some work, and my butterfly could also use some work. So having that next year, I mean, it'd be great to make myself more well-rounded, and as well as I'll have to restart the college recruiting process, which is gonna suck, but it'll be fun to reconnect with people. I have a better story to tell now, and I mean, last November, as I was applying to coaches, I had a great story. I've been swimming for less than a year, and I go like 58 in 100-yard breaststroke. So, but now I have a better one. Like I could say I go 56 in 100-yard breaststroke, and I beat cancer in the same year. So I'm going to take a gap year, and I'm going to have to. I have no idea because I'll have to relook at colleges based on my times. So yeah, I'll have to just restart, but it'll be. I've asked admissions to defer some of my acceptances until but so I'll have to start again, and it'll be pretty fun. I'm gonna work as a restorative aid for elders, and I'm gonna go to practice and swim. So that'll be my day to day. So it's gonna be a pretty fun.
Awesome, Jack. I'm so excited to see where you go from here. Please keep me posted. I mean, I'm sure I'll see the results online, but keep me posted how states goes for you next week. Keep me posted how you're doing. Like, it is very much a thing for me that like once I've interviewed somebody and like I've learned about them and I've talked to them, like they've secured me as a supporter for like forever.
Yep.
So keep me posted how you're doing. I'm so glad
it.
we were able to sit down and have this conversation.
I'm so glad. This was great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for being here. You have a fantastic rest of your night. This will get posted probably like middle of next week-ish, like probably like Wednesday next week.
Oh, hey, take your time, man. Take your time. I was just good to get my story out. You know, thank you for reaching out. It meant a lot. So,
of course, I'm so glad we were able to get this set up.